Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Digital Nomad Ventures. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing everything you need to know about traveling to Thailand starting on May 1st. They are officially dropping all restrictions for vaccinated and sort of unvaccinated travelers. All the details in this episode. Thanks for watching and please subscribe.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.
Finally, the news so many of you have been waiting for. Thailand is officially reopening without any restrictions for both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers with some disclaimers. So, starting May 1st, the CCSA has officially announced that they are scrapping the PCR test, so there's no more mandatory PCR test, just a recommended ATK test if you're not feeling well, as well as no quarantine. So you can come in, you don't have to stay at an SHA Plus hotel for 5 nights, 1 night, nothing. So you come in, you're free to move about the country as you please, and you don't have to pay an exorbitant fee to basically be locked into a hotel for a couple days to a week. Now that's for vaccinated travelers, and it's also for unvaccinated travelers as long as you can show a negative PCR test 72 hours before your flight. However, if you do test positive and you're unvaccinated, you will still need to quarantine for 5 nights in a designated SHA Plus hotel and get a PCR test on day 5. But the good news is mostly for the vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers that test negative before coming. So that's awesome. More and more countries are starting to open up fully. And I think this is great news for, the tourism industry and the economy in general here in Thailand. They're also reducing the required amount for health insurance from $20,000 down to $10,000. I believe it was $50,000 at one point, and it keeps getting lower and lower. You will need to make sure that you have health insurance that covers COVID, obviously, in case you do test positive and need to go to a hospital for some reason. But another good thing is that, they don't force you to go into a hospital if you do test positive. You just need to stay under quarantine for a few days, but it's not a big deal. So as more and more countries start to reopen fully without any testing whatsoever, I think it's really, really good news that Thailand is finally following suit to get the tourism industry back on track, because Lord knows we need more tourists coming here. Just look at where I'm at right now. There's almost nobody here, which is awesome because it's peaceful and quiet, but it also gets a little bit lonely sometimes. So it would be really nice to start having tourists coming back, not only for the businesses that are struggling here, but also just for the well-being and happiness of the people who live in this beautiful country. Watching this video and you're already based in Thailand, I would highly recommend applying for your Smart Visa, which is essentially, it takes the place of a work permit or business visa, but it allows you to launch a startup in the Kingdom of Thailand. The really nice thing about this visa is that it's valid for 1 year. They've extended it an extra 6 months, and it's only 10,000 baht, which is roughly $300 US, compared to a volunteer, education, or business visa, which is usually at least 50,000, sometimes more, and is a long, complicated process. One of the really good things about this visa also is that I won't be required to leave the country unless I, want to go to the Philippines, which would be awesome. But I'll probably just stay here in Thailand and get my business going. So that's a really great option if you're already in Thailand and you're looking to extend your stay and maybe launch a startup here that can, significantly impact the Thai economy. Unfortunately, the Thailand Pass still exists in its current form, but it's getting a lot easier to apply for the pass. So now all that you need is a copy of your passport, proof of vaccination, and proof of health insurance. Usually takes about a day to 3 days to get the pass, sometimes a little bit longer, but it's definitely come a long ways from where it was about 6 months ago when people were applying on the website, they wouldn't hear anything back for months, and it was just kind of a nightmare. So yeah, you will still need to apply for the Thailand Pass. I'm going to include a link in the description below where you can do that. And it's pretty straightforward. I actually haven't had to apply for the Thailand Pass a single time since I've stayed in the country for over 2 years now. Luckily, I've been getting my COVID extension, 60 days at a time. It's looking like they may extend it one more time after May 25th, but honestly, I'm not too optimistic about it. I think they're going to finally phase it out, especially once the borders fully reopen. So another really good thing that you can do if you're already here in Thailand is apply for your smart visa. I'm starting to see a lot more people coming to Koh Samui, where I'm based. I'm currently on the beautiful beach of Lamai, and a lot of them just go straight over to Koh Phangan. The full moon parties are back on, which is what made the island so famous in the first place. And I didn't go last month, but it looked like a lot of fun. There were probably like at least 20,000 people on the beach. Thanks for tuning in. You are now up to date. That's everything that you need to know about visiting Thailand starting on May 1st. I'm not actually sure if it's official yet until it's published in the Royal Thai Gazette, but the CCSA and the Thailand Tourism Authority have given it their seal of approval. And it's looking like everything's going to be go starting May 1st in just a couple more days. So this is really, really good news for the Thai economy, the businesses, and just the people that have been starving for tourism for over 2 years now. In all honesty, I really don't like making these types of videos because I hate government bureaucracy, but I thought it would be very illustrative and valuable information for anybody looking to come to Thailand, because I think it's a big step forward starting May 1st. We definitely need tourists back in the country, especially here in Koh Samui, which has been hit really hard during the pandemic. Even right now, like on this beach, there's almost nobody here. So it gets a little bit lonely without the tourists around. I feel like it is sort of a blessing in disguise, but at the same time, I would like more tourists to start coming back to the country, as well as most of the Thais as well, because their businesses have been struggling for many years now, at least 2 years. So this is definitely a big step forward, and hopefully you are looking forward to visiting Thailand in 2022 and beyond. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe to the channel.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.